Hi everybody, this is the full moon in Gemini live recording for the reading, and it's being held on the 3rd of December, and technically today the full moon is not until I think about 1:43 a.m. Queensland time, and so but the energy of the full moon is building literally as we speak, and so today and tonight is actually probably the best time to do this kind of stuff, because we're really in like building up to the depths of the power of what's going on energetically. So this particular full moon is in Gemini, and Gemini is the planet of communication, Mercury. And also too, Mercury is going retrograde today. So we're actually going to be very challenged, I think, to I think what was witnessed earlier in the call, which I will be editing out, just like, some communication errors here and there and technical errors. So it's often the most challenging time at the very beginning. So we'll see what happens. And I also was starting to talk about, and I'm looking to create the theme of empowerment, self-empowerment, and what I term as sovereignty. And when I use the term sovereignty, I'm specifically talking about what is it that we do that enables us to be truly owning ourselves. This is not about sovereignty against government and sovereignty against, the powers that be. It's actually about sovereignty and standing in our own truth and standing in our own divinity. And that's a big journey to go on. But the place to start is look at where you unwittingly give your power away, where you unwittingly say yes when you mean no, and all those sort of little things that we often dismiss, thinking that we're being okay with it. But where we say sorry when we walk past someone and we accidentally bump into them, or they bump into us and we say sorry, this sort of thing where energetically it's really fascinating how it unfolds. So what I'm looking to do with these recordings is basically bring to people's awareness how they can learn to stand in their strength. You can learn to stand in your strength and see where you unwittingly give it away. So these are the themes of the full moon and the new moon readings. So what I shall be doing, and welcome Wendy, you haven't got your recording on, which is a good thing. So but I don't know if you'll be able to speak, so maybe you'll have to use the chat if you're not using your computer, so if you want to ask a question. So coming back to the process of how I'll run the call, it's going to be, I'll draw a card for the collective, and then I'll draw a card for each person who is here, okay? And I do have someone who normally rejoins me, my beautiful friend Jody, who is unfortunately unable to join us today. So I promised her I'd draw her a card as well. And when you see all the cards together as a collective, you'll get to see the thread as what's going on. It's actually relevant for everybody. It's quite a powerful, powerful little process, which I quite enjoy doing. Okay, so this full moon in Gemini, and where we're not empowering ourselves or where we're giving our power away, the card for today is probably the most potent one of all, the Creator. So in this particular deck, this card is the King of Fire. And this is the card, it's called the Creator. This is the name of the card. And it's quite beautiful, because what he's doing here is he recognizes that he holds his own power, and it comes from within him. So when we think about that, we're going, oh my God, we all forget to do this. We all forget when we're in the middle of a stressful situation that all our power actually comes from within and not from other people. So, if we're looking for power from outside ourselves, then we're actually doing ourselves a big disservice. So I think for everybody, you need to remember that you are the creator of your own power. You are the source of your own power, and you can always tap into this because you have the energy source within you. Just remembering it is the big challenge. And I think that's one that we can all be reminded of. So that's today's card. So I'm going to draw a card for my friend Jody, and then we'll move on to the people who are here, the gorgeous people who have joined us. And okay. Alrighty. Just so you know, Wendy, I've just muted you, darling, because the noise with your phone was a little bit loud. So, okay, so I'm going to draw a card for Jody. Jody, okay. This is actually quite funny. This card is called the Master. It's an unnumbered card from this tarot deck, and Jodie will get a good chuckle out of that, because this is where she's learning to master herself. She's really stepping up into her power, and her work at the moment is quite beautiful. So Jodie, where are you not mastering yourself? Where are you not working on those parts of yourself? Because you're on such a trajectory of work, which has been really quite profound. But somewhere in there, you're not mastering something, and that's usually probably mastering of the self. So something to have a good look at, something to be aware of at a time, especially around this time of Gemini full moon, shining the light on communication and where we talk and how we talk. So how's your mastery around your communication going? Have a think about that when you watch this video. I think you'll get a bit of a chuckle out of that one. So, okay. So I'm going to draw a card for Tess now. And thank you for joining us, Tess. And I'll unmute you in a moment. And you can give me some feedback or have a bit of a chat about what you get from your card. Okay, so this card here for Tess is called, okay, this is really quite beautiful. This is called Moment to Moment. And so what I'm getting with this card for you at the moment, pardon the pun, Tess, is actually, where are you not being present? Where are you rushing too far ahead, or always trying to do too much? Because the card here is telling you that you need to be more in the moment. You need to be present to what's happening to you right now and not look too far ahead. Because if you do look too far ahead, you're going to miss what's going on around you. And, you know, if you are rushing ahead again, you know, then somewhere in there, you're not present and you're not embodying yourself. And there's a lot to be said about, you know, giving our power away when we're actually not embodied. So I'm getting quite strongly that this message here is a big one for you to think seriously about, being very present in your in what's happening for you at the moment, especially in the energy of this full moon, and not think too much about what's going on with communication with other people. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I've got two things running around in my consciousness around this card for you. And one of them is, you know, we need to be when we're learning to communicate with people and be strong in our communication, sometimes it helps that we think about what it is we want to say and get strong in it. But in this case, it's also reminding us, because that's the communication time of this Gemini full moon. But the presence and the requesting, or the requirement to be present in this moment to moment card, is really indicating some things you can't think about too much, because it's actually not going to serve you if you overthink it. Does that make sense? I've unmuted you, so you're welcome to share.
That is me all over. I'm going through a big diet change at the moment.
Yep.
And I want it all sorted, and, you know, want to be fit and healthy. And I'm just changing from traditional food to mostly raw, and now I'm going into mostly just high energy fruit. And of course, I want it all done yesterday. I want to be fit and healthy and kicking goals right now. And staying focused, staying in the moment is part of the journey, part of the path, because it'll probably take me, in logical terms, probably about 2 years to get my body fit and healthy to where I want it to be. So yeah, absolutely appropriate, and especially with all the communication and all that sort of stuff, because I'm basically housebound, so all my communication is online or on the phone and things like that. So yeah, and that can get pretty messy, and I feel like, you know, oh God, I should be out there, and it's like, oh, I can't even leave the house, so I'll get back into bed, you know.
Okay, so are you working through clearing up your health from a chronic fatigue kind of environment?
Chronic fatigue's only a minor part of it, yeah.
Right, okay, so being housebound is quite important, that in terms of you need to be really solid and comfortable about being there and not trying to push yourself to be out and about before you're really ready to get up and get going.
Yes, I've even got home so I can get my groceries done, house cleaning, all that sort of stuff. So my health is in a really chronic condition area at the moment. Yeah, just been trying to clean it up for quite some time, but had a few setbacks, and now starting to get back on track.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I'm really pleased to hear that for you. That's excellent. So your main form of communication is essentially online and phone, as you said. So you're really reliant on the technology. So this is going to be an interesting time for you too, with this Mercury retrograde. You know, when technology gets a little bit challenged at this time, and it's the perfect time to review and revise and reflect, and have a good look at, you know, if you everything goes down on you technology wise, this is a really good time to just shut everything off and go, well, that's fine. I'll just go read a book, or I'll have a think about what it is I really want, and what it could potentially look like, and be more open to new ideas and new ways of doing things too. You know, like it doesn't have to be, the technology isn't the only way of doing something. So you've got a good opportunity to really look at a lot of stuff too. So it's a really fabulous time to really sit back and, you know, just rest into everything too.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate that. It's so accurate, and yeah, that's makes so much sense. I'm nodding my head. I don't know if you can see me, so it's
I
just like,
can't.
yeah.
You've got your video turned off, but that's totally fine. So no, that's wonderful. I'm really pleased for you. That's really cool. Okay. All right. So we'll move on to Wendy. Thank you so much for joining us, Wendy. I'm really excited that you're here. So I have you on mute. So I'm going to draw a card for you, and then I'll unmute you, and you can share any thoughts that you might have. And I'm hoping that you can hear me and that you haven't got your phone put down somewhere. So Wendy's in Melbourne, and I didn't actually ask Tess where she was. She can use the chats if you want to let me know where you are, Tess. That'll be kind of fun. So I seem to have a bit of a broader reaching group. Sometimes there's a woman who dials in from the US frequently, which is quite exciting. So, but it maybe didn't happen for her today. Okay, so Wendy. Alrighty, so Wendy's card today is past lives. And what I'm getting with the past lives is about this. I really feel like with this particular card that there's a lot going on around giving too much power to the past. Something that really, you know, like with the there's so much going on, and there's so much that you could use from the past, but sometimes there's a situation of giving a lot of power to what's happened in the past. And this could be, you know, potentially related to the past life of a previous incarnation, and also too a past life in terms of previous relationships, previous connections before you are who you are today. This is pretty full on, and you know, I sort of feel like there's a lot to be thought about, where you're unwittingly giving all your power to the past and not being present. And ironically, like for Tess, being moment to moment, or at least being present. So I'm just going to unmute you, Wendy, if you have any comments that you want to share.
Oh, wow. You're absolutely right about it being overwhelming. I keep getting messages from lots of people about that. You know, a fellow I work with has offered, you know, you're a teacher, you're not an educator, you should be coming to work with us in kindergarten. Then I just had a look, and I thought jobs that were coming up, and, you know, how much money they're offering, an 8 weeks holiday, which I haven't got. And I went, oh gosh, should I apply to that? So that's, you know, who I've been in the past, and I don't know if it's relevant for now. So I'm getting confusion about past, present and future. And I met up with someone the other night, and that's what he was talking about the whole time. He said, you need to be present, you're in the past. I thought, I don't even know you guys. But he was reminiscent of another soul that I have met in the past, you know. So yes, it's spot on. And I've just been to my son's wedding, so I met up with my ex-husband, with his new wife, so, and all friends from Perth came, so that was definitely revisiting the past. So it is socially, it's relationships, and it's career. So it's all of it. And
it's all of it.
You know, even my home, I thought I've had this for quite a while now. Is it time to move on? Because, you know, is it still making money for me, or where will I go next? So.
Oh, honey, I hear you.
But when you said what you said first, past lives, I heard past 5, and I am a 5. So it is all about changes.
It is all about change.
And when to make them.
Yes. Oh wow, that's so true. Oh wow, Wendy, that's extraordinary. And I'm so pleased that you're on the call. It's been ages since we've spoken, so it's beautiful
It
that
has,
you're
yeah.
connected in. So so this is really cool, because with this particular card, then what I'm also getting is, yeah, being present is really cool. But you know, you've got a lot of power in your past. You've got a lot of experience and a lot of things that have come, that you know, that you've done, that you've experienced, that actually hold true to who you are today. And you're actually forgetting some of it.
Yeah.
You're forgetting some of the things that you've done and who you are, that when you're present, that you actually can tap back into the power of what you've, you know, what you can bring forward, if that makes any sense.
Well, that's been happening a lot at work, just incidentally, like in the staff room. You know, people have been asking me questions, and all of a sudden all this other stuff arrives, feng shui and, you know, psychosomatics and kinesiology and neurosoma, all of it. And just things kept coming up, and I think, oh, when I'm speaking about it, I feel really passionate about it. So, yeah, it's where to do it, what to do it, how to do it, whether to do it.
Yeah. That I fully appreciate. Yeah, absolutely. And it's challenging to know what to do. So I think with this full moon in Gemini, what I'm getting with this particular past life card is, and all this information, all this history that's coming up for you, is now's the time to probably really let the light shine on it and go, well, what can I use now? Well, you probably can use 9/10 of what it is that you've got, because you've got this massive myriad of information and background that's really powerful. You can probably use so much more of it than you even realize. And now's the time to shine a spotlight on it and go, what do I talk about? What do I express? What do I expose? I mean, you're an astrologer too. You know an awful lot about this stuff. This is a perfect time for you to step in to do that. So this is beautiful. This is
it's the how. It's the how, where, and you know.
Okay. Don't let the how get to you. There's a big trick in that, darling. Don't let the how.
What about the where?
Not even the where.
It just comes out.
Just the what. What is it that you can shine the light on? So, or what is it that comes to light when you put the focus on this? You know, your amazing skill set, and go, okay, well, what do I have that I can use? And then from there, it kind of, you know, the where and the how will actually present itself once you're allowing yourself to even see what you can use. Because a lot of what you've got in the background can be used very subtly in the education area. You know, it doesn't have to be.
Well, I'm doing that this morning in a blog I'm sending to the parents. It's about music, but all of a sudden some feng shui jumped in. And I went, oh.
Yeah, see? So it's the how is already presented itself.
And, you know.
The how has already presented itself in the blog. You can see how powerful this is now. So the how will present itself when you let yourself go into the playfulness of the, what is it that I can use? What is it that I can, what knowledge or what skills can I tap into? You know, it's brilliant.
It's the financial thing that tempts me, because this job that I had to look at, it's like 20 to 30,000 more than what I'm getting now, plus 8 weeks holiday. And I went, golly, is it time to move? But, you know, I like my work. I like where I am. I like the people I'm working with. You know, I don't mind that travelling. It's nice going through the city often on the way to work. You know, like the other one's the other direction. So, you know, way up the, like, love or money thing, you know, and, and it's time to have a look at valuing myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another one. Where do you empower yourself because you don't value yourself enough? And what is the value related to, though? You know, what is you're looking at the value and what how that value is played out.
Past conversations.
Absolutely.
Yeah, past conversations other people have had with me. So, and that's being changed because this new fellow who's offered that, he's not offering money, but he's saying to me, you need to value yourself more. I value you more, you need to as well. But it's not a financial opportunity because he doesn't have the power to do that. But so I wonder whether that was just a little insight into, you know, giving me a kick up the bum, basically.
Well, life is always going to give us a kick up the bum when we ask for it, or whether we do or don't ask for it. So in full moons, you tend to kick up the bum than new moons, but still.
But yeah, Mercury retrograde is going to do it, because that's my Gemini rising is ruled by Mercury, so and the subconscious podcast. So
this is
I won't have a leader.
This is a really big
Thank you, Priscilla. Where are you? You're in America now.
No, I'm in
You're not in Queensland.
Yep, I'm in Queensland, darling. Right. Yep. Well, thank you so much, everybody. Okay. So,
yes, thank you.
Back on mute. No, my pleasure. Thank you, Wendy. Actually,
good on you.
I'll unmute you both. I'll just say thank you to both of you for being on the call. This has been fantastic. I love having the interaction and the communication. There's so much to share, and everyone's got such amazing information. You know, when they talk about what's going on for them and the interrelated and the correlation of everything. It's quite brilliant. So thank you so much, both of you, for joining. And there'll be another reading in about 2 weeks' time for the new moon, and the new moon will be in Sagittarius. Yep, new moon will be in Sagittarius. Don't know the date yet, but I'll post it up on in the event, etc. So thank you very much for everybody, and we'll have another recording in a couple of weeks' time, and I hope that you all appreciate what's come through this time, and the cards. I'm sure they'll all make a lot of sense to you all. Thank you very much, everybody.
They have. Thank you so much. Well done, Priscilla.
Thank you. Thank you both for joining us. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
See you later then. Bye-bye.